Hello, gentlemen. I'm Angela Lee Duckworth. Success isn't something that lands on our lap because we're lucky or gifted. It's something we build day by day, choice by choice. And the truth is, we don't need a year or even a season to create momentum. 1 month can be enough. If we use it right, 1 month can lay the foundation for long-term change. But it starts with a mindset that consistent effort, not talent alone, is what makes the real difference. We often wait for the perfect moment to start, but the most successful people aren't waiting, they're acting. They understand that progress doesn't require perfection, it requires persistence, and persistence is not glamorous. It's not exciting. It looks like setting a goal, sticking to it even when you don't feel like it, and showing up when no one is watching. That's where change begins. So if you want to build a 1-month success plan, start here. First, define a clear and specific goal, not a vague dream like get better, but something measurable and time-bound, something you can track every day. Second, make it daily. Break that big goal into small actions you can take every single day for 30 days. Not when I have time, but scheduled, non-negotiable. Third, track your progress. Keep a record, not just of what you did, but how you felt doing it. Self-awareness turns repetition into learning. Fourth, embrace the setbacks. Expect them, plan for them. They don't mean failure. They mean you're learning what works and what doesn't. Finally, reflect and revise. At the end of the month, don't just look at what you did. Ask who you became in the process. The identity you're building is more powerful than any one achievement. Success begins when we stop grasping at vague ambitions and instead name exactly what we intend to achieve. A clear goal removes the fog of uncertainty and replaces it with a vivid target we can aim for every day. To make a goal clear is to capture it in concrete terms, so that there is no question whether we've reached it or not. Instead of improve my fitness, a clear goal is be able to run 3 miles without pausing. By choosing precise language, we convert wishful thinking into a plan that can guide our daily actions. Specificity drills down into the details. It forces us to decide what exactly falls within our scope. Rather than read more books, specificity asks, how many pages, what genre, over what time frame? A specific goal might be read 1 chapter of a nonfiction book each morning before breakfast. Now the path forward involves a single, unmistakable action. Open the book when the alarm goes off. That clarity dissolves hesitation. It eliminates the question, should I read now? Because the plan has already decided it. Measurability adds the essential ingredient of feedback. When you can track your progress with numbers, you turn a goal into an experiment. Did you run 3 miles today? Yes or no? Did you read a chapter? Yes or no? It's not an opinion or an excuse, it's data. This data feeds our motivation. Seeing a streak of days completed on a habit tracker stokes a desire to keep going. Falling short on day 12 sparks curiosity. What went wrong? How can I adjust tomorrow? That reflection is the engine of learning. When you define a clear, specific, and measurable goal, you also unlock 2 hidden benefits. First, you reduce the cognitive load of decision making. Your brain doesn't have to weigh options each morning about what to do. You simply do what the goal specifies. Second, you create a built-in reward system. Checking off a completed task provides a small dopamine boost, reinforcing the habit loop you're building. Of course, the discipline of clarity can feel strangely rigid at first. You might resist naming something so precisely because it feels too confining. Yet, paradoxically, structure frees creativity. With the boundaries of a clear goal in place, you can focus all your mental energy on how to achieve it, rather than wondering what you should even be doing. To craft your own clear, specific, and measurable goal, start by asking 3 questions. What is the one outcome I want to see? How will I break that outcome down into daily behaviors I can track? When exactly will I perform those behaviors? Write your answers out in a single sentence. If it still feels fuzzy, tighten the language until you can imagine yourself checking off done without ambiguity. Remember, A well-defined goal doesn't guarantee success, it merely lays the foundation. What transforms that foundation into a lasting achievement is the work you do each day, showing up when motivation wanes, learning from setbacks, and celebrating incremental wins. By pinpointing exactly what you want to accomplish and measuring every step along the way, you train yourself in the art of perseverance. And in that daily practice of clarity and effort, you build not just a single accomplishment, but a resilient mindset that carries you far beyond any month-long plan. Once you've defined a clear, specific, and measurable goal, the next critical step is to break that goal into consistent and daily actions. This step is where your dream becomes a routine, where intention becomes behavior. Daily actions are the small, repeatable steps that gradually compound into meaningful results. They turn the overwhelming into the manageable and the abstract into the concrete. Think of your goal like a mountain. Standing at the base, the peak may seem impossibly far away, but if you focus only on the next step, and then the next, you'll eventually find yourself much higher than you ever thought possible. Daily actions are those steps. They're the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Let's say your goal is to write a short story in 30 days. The daily action might be to write 300 words every morning before work. That's it, just 300 words. It doesn't matter if they're perfect. What matters is the habit of showing up. By the end of the month, you'll have nearly 90 words, which is more than enough for a strong draft. The key is not brilliance, it's consistency. Why daily? Because habits are easier to maintain when they are done frequently and predictably. Once-a-week goals require more motivation to restart every time. Daily routines, on the other hand, become part of your identity. You stop negotiating with yourself because the action becomes automatic. You don't ask, should I do it today? You just do it, like brushing your teeth or making your bed. Consistency also builds momentum. Each small win feeds the next. When you show up day after day, you train your brain to believe, I am the kind of person who follows through. That belief, over time, becomes more powerful than any burst of motivation. You begin to see yourself not just as someone trying to change, but as someone who does the thing. Writes, runs, reads, studies, saves, whatever your goal may be. To create consistent daily actions, make them small enough that you can do them even on your worst days. Ask yourself, what's the minimum I can commit to every day without fail? If your goal is to get fit, maybe it's 15 minutes of movement. If it's to learn a language, maybe it's reviewing vocabulary for 10 minutes. This isn't lowering the bar, it's building the base. Also, anchor your actions to existing habits or routines. Attach your new behavior to something you already do reliably. For example, after I make coffee, I'll sit down and journal for 5 minutes. This anchoring increases the chance you'll follow through because you've given your habit a natural cue. Lastly, track your actions. Use a calendar, app, or notebook, whatever works for you. Seeing a chain of completed days builds pride and motivation. And when you inevitably miss a day, don't let it become two. Start fresh the next day. Consistency doesn't mean never slipping, it means always returning. Breaking your goal into daily actions is not just a tactic, it's a mindset. It says, I believe in progress through effort. I believe that doing a little every day beats doing a lot once in a while. And I believe that great change doesn't come from grand gestures, but from humble, repeated acts of commitment.